Hi, I'm Heinbach. It's good to have you back. What I have here is one of the biggest surprises I've had in regards to tape machines in a long time. You can control the speed of this Swiss-made Nagra from 1968 externally without any modifications. This feature turns this film sound recorder into a monophonic tape sampler, a bit like the Mellotron, which was the first sampler and used a lot of tapes to create polyphony. So I dubbed this Nagratron. I discovered this feature after I unboxed and tested this machine on an Instagram live stream. For some unknown reason, the usually switchable 3-speed control was disabled, and it looks like this is a factory mod. I had packed up the machine already to bring it back. I had a nagging feeling that I had missed something. And when I looked at it again, I discovered that there's a port to the side, a little jack, that fits a Eurorack cable or a 1/8 jack perfectly, and it was labeled speed. So I plugged in the first sequencer that was within reach, and that was the one on the Moog Subharmonicon. I mentioned before that this is monophonic, but of course you can record polyphonic material onto a tape loop on here and pitch that around. The process of creating a looped instruments on the Nagra 4L is easy. You simply cut a loop to the size that you want, and the rule of thumb is that a tight loop, such as the one on here, will perform best for non-wobbly sounds, and a longer one will give you lots of wobble as it has more play. You then simply record a note using the line in or the mic in. And then you can play that back. And you can also add another tone, so it becomes a much richer, layered sound. Possibilities don't end with turning this into an instrument. This can work as a sound-on-sound looper with vari-speed. It is easy to enable the erase head on this machine, which would normally erase the tape every time it passes it, by simply routing the tape loop behind it. And then you can record over and over again without deleting your previous material. There will be sound degradation over time as you record over and over, but I think that's part of the charm. By the way, this is a technique you can apply to many other tape machines. Check out the video I made here. It does not end there. With the right patching, you can turn this into a fantastic tape echo. I made a tutorial on how to set this up in this video. Why is this awesome feature on the Nagra 4L? My first thought was, of course, somebody must have modded it. But then I looked at other Nagra 4L online and they all had that jack in. And when I moved over to my Nagra 4.2, I saw that that jack in was also there, except it was just a hole with a little cover that I lost while I was researching this. I talked to film sound experts and I talked to Nagra. And apparently this speed in was made for a time varier unit that would allow you to adjust the speed of the tape by +5% and -5%. Back in the day, camera speed would drift, so at some point audio and video would get out of sync. So with the time varier unit, you could manually adjust that. For the later models, this control was enhanced to go -12 and +12, and a new time varier unit was built, which might be good news for anyone with a Nagra 4.2, because it might be possible to get the same functionality through modding. I'm going to upload the schematics that Nagra Audio kindly sent to me to the subreddit. If you want to mod your own machine, do so at your own risk. Also, trying out what I did with the control voltage, well, it works fine so far. And I've got feedback from a friend who also has the same machine that it works also on his. But of course, there's no tell what this rapid changing of speed might do to the motor life. This technique of vari-speeding the Nagra also requires some infrastructure. The range on this machine goes from somewhere from -5 to +7 volts. The subharmonicon will work mostly out of the box. Its CV sequencer goes from -5 to +5, so it will go to the lowest note, but not the highest note. The note control that I used in the beginning of this video only goes from 0 to +8. So the voltage range is A, too small, and B, you need to offset it. And how I'm doing this right now, because I don't have a dedicated offset module, is I run the voltage into a mixer, into the modular that's bumping against my knee down here. And then I add an offset voltage from maths to that mixer. And together that will offset the voltage. I can't get the lowest notes, but it's so nice to play it and sequence it with this little tool. Nagras are expensive and they're only getting more expensive. The good thing is that this model, the 4L, is one of the least desired models. You've got the Nagra 3, which thanks to its germanium architecture sounds great and beautiful and full of mojo, and you've got the 4.2 model, which is very reliable. Got the stereo versions, which are usually price-wise unobtainium. But the 4L, I bought this for around 700 euros, and you can still find these in that price range. It is absolutely possible to mod other tape machines for full vari-speed. I know Jamie Liddell modded his Otari with great effect, and my friend Wouter van Veldhoven does amazing experiments with consumer tape machines. I personally don't know how to do this. I'm just happy to have found a tape machine that does it out of the box. I have put up a sound pack of Nagratron single tones, so you can get the sound of this machine in your digital audio workstation or regular old digital sampler. Patrons also get reviews of the things I'm covering on my channel ahead of the videos. If you have any further questions, do put them in the comments below or visit the subreddit. Thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.